Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, we're going to talk about Ob Nixilis, the Unshackled. He is a beast in 6 mana, 4/4 flying trample. I don't know that I really define that as beast in, but anyway. Whenever an opponent searches his or her glare, can we fix that? Searches his or her library. That player sacks a dude and loses 10 life. And then when creatures die, he gets a counter. So he gets bigger. He forces. Now I'm probably exactly like all of y'all. When this card was pulled for M15, it came out. My mind instantly went to what I'm going to call his crazy ex-girlfriend, Marilyn of the Morn Song, because the two of them together are so good because you can force them to search their library. You can force them. Now, it says players can't draw cards, and they essentially tutor. It's 3 life for a tutor. Uh, Now, to get this side by side here, an opponent searches your library. So you can search your library all you want to and not have to, take 10 to the face. But Maryland makes all your opponents do it, which is ballin'. That's where I went. Before we get deeper into that, let's roll through some basic. We're playing mono black, so let's roll through some basic uh, the mono black cards. Y'all have seen these before. If It's hard not to run some of these, like Gary here, he's just. I mean, if you're playing mono black, there's certain cards it's hard to overlook. Um, Bubbling Muck is a great. This is Black High Tide, people. I mean, that's all there is. Yeah, blue has a little more capability of explosive turns with the card drawing and whatnot, but a Black High Tide is nothing to sneeze at. Of course, the Lash Wrath and Jet Medallion. So we got that out of the way. I threw the Ob Nixilis Walker in there simply because I had an extra one. Long story behind that. But had an extra one, kind of fit the flavor, whatevs. So I'm trying to kill creatures, obviously. Now, Ob Nixilis is 6 mana. So, I mean, I'm not running a whole lot of ramp, but I do want the cloak for either Ob or her, Marilyn. I'm running the King because, I just don't like getting milled out. So that's why I run the King. Defensor's Journal for the life gain and the, no max hand size. Now run the Glaring Spotlight because we have a lot of spot removal. As you would guess, it says when a creature dies, he gets a counter. So we want to kill things. And, I mean, we really want to kill things. We've got Dark Banishing, Tragic Slip, Doomblade, Deathwind. I like the Foul Reward because it gets you one of your dudes back and potentially kills one of theirs. So, I mean, this is when you play a normal reanimation card like Rise from the Grave or whatnot, you're out one card for one card. I mean, you've already gotten your use out of that creature, supposedly. Either you played and it died, or you got milled and it's occupying a slot in the graveyard as opposed to the slot in the library. But essentially, it's just another copy of that creature. I guess I forgot where I was going with that. Hell, I don't know. Siphon Mind, amazing card draw for black. It does kind of enable some madness stuff. If, the more and more madness stuff that they print, the better it gets. Dregs of Sorrow, a little mana intensive, but man, you want to talk about swinging a game. Destroy X creatures, draw X cards. I mean, that's a kick to the junk for somebody. Consume the Meek wipes out all tokens. Let's face it, that's what it's for. Tokens, elves, goblins, you know. Reanimate's going to get your guy back. Now, Ashes to Ashes is not, it does not destroy, it does exile them. But there are times when you just got to have them gone. When, I mean, Kalia's a real thing, and with her being in the anthologies, I know since it came out here in my local area, there have been way more Kalia decks. And with Kalia comes Avacyn. And that shit got to go. You know, I mean, I'll take 5 and get rid of Iona and Avacyn for the ever. Yeah, every time. So, other board wipes. The Necromantic Selection. I love that they've actually started printing cards for Commander. It's wonderful. We got Extinguish All Hope. We have the Black Sun Zenith, which also gets around industrial stuff. You know, those damn Eldrazi Titans and the gods and everything else that's indestructible. Hey, did y'all see the new Scorpion god? The Scorpion. It's weird. It's like the first god I've seen that doesn't have indestructible. That's kind of cool. But then I remember the Scorpion King dies a lot, but he keeps coming back, and that's exactly what the card does. So I think they probably hit that flavor right on. Infest is another token killer. Befoul. Land or non-black creature. Now, there are spotty lands out there that are problems. You've got Maze of Ith. A lot of decks. Last night, I had a huge problem with Homeward Path. Now, granted, I was running a deck that couldn't run Befoul, but still, it's good to have an answer for those troublesome lands. Profane Command, Damnable Pact, Malicious Affliction are good utility. And as far as tutors now, I'm running a little more tutors than normal because I really want to get Maralen. Because that's job number 1 that we're trying to do, is to get Maralen and to have the crazy couple out there and just let them wallow, you know, and take 13 damage a turn, because Maralen takes 3, he takes 10, and you can't do that many times before it needs answering. So let's get some creatures going here. We've got Undertaker. Reuse some of your creatures. Archfiend uses that beautiful... Well, no, it says sacrifice, so it's not to destroy. Midnight Banshee. There again. Telling you. Getting rid of that indestructible stuff. Roll Assassin. I know I probably use Roll Assassin more than anybody else, but it is a good, repeatable creature destruction. It always has been. There's nothing I don't like about this card. Shriek Maw. Awesome. Especially if you evoke it. It's a terror, but yet you can bring it back with all of your reanimation spells to get your 3/2 fear out of the deal. So that's cool. We have our Planeswalker killer. The Sorceress Queen. She impacts combat math. Something fierce. Yeah, you can tell I've had the Sorceress Queen for a while. This was probably one of the ones that I've had since, I pulled it from a revised pack, but we didn't do sleeves back then. They were just like penny baseball card sleeves that sucked, and you couldn't shuffle them, and they slid everywhere, and it was bad. So we were just like, well, I'll take good care of my cards. I won't shuffle them hard or whatever. But anyway. Deck Protector, thank you very much. Saved a bunch of money for us. Fleshblack Marauder, Harvester of Souls, Liliana Spectre. Now, Zenith Poltergeist is a card you're probably going, what? A lot of people are probably reading it. But the Zenith Poltergeist, not to mention it just straight up kills any artifact that has a 0 power. But with all your board wipes and your spot removal, you can get rid of those nasty artifacts. Because then you can Doomblade it or you can whatever if you board wipe. And Zenith Poltergeist is the real deal. Now, Tainted Remedy. Everybody loves Tainted Remedy. It's one of those crazy good cards that just shuts down their life gain. You can still gain life, so that's awesome. And we're, going to have a little bit of a life gain going on. Strands of Night. 2 mana, 2 life, and a swamp. This is actually, it sounds like a really big cost, but late game, this card has won me games because at the end of my opponent's turn, I've had this out, you play it, you just about don't use it, maybe once or twice, but then late game, after several board wipes, you're deep in, graveyards are packed. End of your turn, I'm going to pay 10 mana, 10 life, sack 5 swamps, get my team back, untap, they're not sick, bam, let's go. So that's why. Now, with a little bit of life gain thing that we have here, Unspeakable Symbol, I mean, it's great with Marchesa, but that's not this deck. Unspeakable Symbol is almost a channel. Now, granted, it's 3 life for a 1/1 counter. However, a lot of times, because you can do it at instant speed in the middle of combat after they haven't blocked your general, and it's just, I mean, this is a good, because people, how often are you going to do that? That's what they're going to think. But, if I'm swinging at the last player for commander damage and I've got enough life, oh yeah, it's on. Now, I've got 4 cards left, and I'll show you my train of thought behind it. The very first card I thought of with this, I'm going to call it a 4-card combo, was Death Pits of Wrath, because I was like, well, I want creatures to die. I want creatures to die. So when creatures die, my guy gets bigger. So, hey, why not? Death Pits of Wrath. When a creature takes damage, they just die. Now I was like, well, I need something to deal damage to all creatures repeatedly. Now, granted, Pestilence may not be the optimal thing, because it does hit your shit too. Your shit will die, okay? Your dudes are gone. But in the scenario where you want this, you're already behind and you're not. But so Pestilence, I'm like, cool, Pestilence. So now I can just spend 1 mana through Pestilence and deal 1 damage to all creatures. They all die. Sweet. But the problem with Pestilence is it hits players too, so it hits me. That's where Urza's Armor comes in at, so that I don't take that 1 damage. Now, this can be a win condition in and of itself. If you just cannot get through with creatures or whatever, this can be it. The other problem is, with this combo, to keep Pestilence alive, you've got to have a creature out there. But yet, you're killing all creatures, so it'd sure be nice to have something that was indestructible, like a Stuffy Doll. So the Pestilence, Stuffy Doll, Death Pits of Wrath, Urza's Armor, just, yeah, if you can assemble the pieces, which as many tutors as we've got, it may not be a problem. If you can assemble the pieces, that's a hard thing to overcome for any deck. That is all I have got for today. Well, hold on. Do you want to tell you about Bojuka Bog? Bojuka Bog is a card. I'm telling you, it's a card. We need to run it. If you run swamps, if you can have black in your color identity, and it's not like a 4 or 5 color deck where all of your lands are integral to produce more than 1 color, but if you're 1 or 2 colors, get you a Bojuka Bog. These are beautiful. Last night I saw this card do some serious work, or this morning or whatever. Y'all remember way back when Nixilis were cheap? Hell, they may still be. I don't know, but Rogue's Passage is another non-basic that if you're planning on getting in there with your general, doing some general damage, that's probably the good way to do it. Well, that is what I've got for today. I do appreciate you watching. Right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.